Okay, share that, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to expand it. And can you guys see what I see? You can. Okay, beautiful. So, yesterday you had kind of this worksheet. Sorry, I just folded it so I couldn't see all my problems. And you were trying the first three. I'm going to be honest, I haven't looked yet if you have done these. So, I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3 with you. Just as a reminder of how to do these if you attempted them. If you did not attempt them, write these down and then try these ones quick. These ones shouldn't take too long. They're just solving for one
I don't know
thing.
if I can hear you or not.
Huh? Can you not hear me? Hold on. Hold on. Sorry, sometimes it messes up my go away. My audio. No, you should be able to. Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure if I'm on hover cam, it doesn't work. Okay. So once again, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 with you. This was part of your assignment yesterday. So if you didn't do it, write them down. And you can try those other ones quick. And then we're going to do number 4 together. And then I'm going to set up 5 and 6 in you. And you guys are going to do that for your wrap up. So that's the plan. Main goal today is just semi-understand these like little word problems. The main thing is, can you set up the triangle and then solve from there? And then we'll be all set. So application problems. I got my little paper here, application problems. Okay, so this is number 1. I do expect that you write these down. Or excuse me, if you did these yesterday, you're good with me. I'm gonna know because I'm gonna check your assignments. So if I see that you didn't do this assignment and you haven't written these down, we're gonna have an issue with each other, just as a heads up. But please check what you did yesterday and see if you're good. So Jill is 5 feet tall. So this is Jill. I'm getting lazy with my things. She's a stick. At a certain time of day, her shadow is 7 feet long. The shadow is on the ground. Find the angle of elevation of the sun. So that's going to be my theta. Sun is somewhere up here. We're just trying to find what's the angle up there. So that would mean Jill is 5 feet. Her shadow is 7 feet. So you were setting that up. From here, you're just labeling. What do I know, right? So I know from this angle, opposite and adjacent. So in my head, I say, hey, I'm going to pick good old tangent. And I'm going to fill in what I know. Tangent of theta equals opposite over adjacent. And then anytime you're solving for theta, you are going to use the inverse tangent. So hopefully you attempted that one yesterday, but I like to kind of go over things. I need to find my calculator. Hold on here. I packed it up to bring home. And it's somewhere in my bag. Maybe. No, where is my calculator? Oh, there it is. Found it. Okay, so I'm going to do the inverse tangent of 5 over 7. And it's going to be like 35.5 degrees. And that would be your answer to number 1. So once again, you may have tried that yesterday. Thank you if you did. If you didn't do it, write it down now. And then I'm not checking those until a little bit later when I usually have hall duty. I'm at about 11:30. So if you want to submit something quick today, that will at least give you some credit. So anytime you're submitting something, anything is always better than nothing. So please try something. And that will make your grade better. Remember, yesterday was technically progress reports. So your grades are always updated with me. I pretty much try to update them daily. So please check where you stand, if you're missing anything, good stuff like that, because we don't want to have a heart attack when we come back from vacation here. Okay, so number 2. So once again, I'm doing these ones kind of quick. Number 2. Boop. Lucy is flying a kite that has a 20-foot string. So this one, okay, so here's good old Luce. And she has a kite up here. Okay. That's nice. Okay, well, we're going to pretend this goes to the ground. This is a terrible drawing, but you get the idea. Okay, there we go. It's a 20-foot string. So this is the string, right? So this is 20 feet. Boop, boop. The kite string is making a 33-degree angle with the ground. So from the ground, the string is making a 33-degree angle. What is the height of the kite? So you were hopefully setting this up yesterday, or at least attempting it. But from here, I would say, okay, from the angle 33 degrees, I know hypotenuse. I need opposite. So I'm going to use sine, right? So what comes into my brain ski. And I'm going to do sine of 33 equals opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, I kind of like that setup. That's not too bad, because now to solve this, I'm just going to multiply both sides by 20. And then I'm just throwing that in my calculator. So once again, the actual solving is not terrible, hopefully, most of the time. Maybe 1 or 2 steps just to get to your final answer, and it comes out to about 10.9 feet. So once again, you may have tried that one yesterday. I'll know if you tried it, if you've scanned it in. So if you don't necessarily write every step down, that's okay. But I do expect that you're at least attempting some problems. So just as a heads up there. So I'll leave that one up for a second. Take a sip of tea here.
I didn't get to finish doing the first one. Is there any way that you could show that?
Oh, sure. Yep. Sorry. I got my own little, hold on, let's see if I can get both of them in. There we go. There's 1 and 2 in case you needed them. But I'll leave it up for a second. Sorry. Sometimes I get in my own little world here and I end up rushing. So always feel free to stop me. It's so peaceful here. God, school when no one's here is a delight. And not having my kids yell at me is just a delight. So what a day. Oh, let me get your nose. So I'll leave those up for another second. Ooh. So I'm only going to do 2 more with you. So we're like decent way through the work, which is good. So our main goal was to just, once again, to be exposed to these application problems. We're not going to have an assessment on it, which probably benefits you because who really likes word problems? Probably not many people. But at least you've seen them. So if you do move on and I don't know, see Trig in your future, if you're going to college, you might see it at some point. I don't know, if you do other stuff, you might see it at some point. But at least you've seen it now. Excuse me. So I'm going to look at number 3. So those were the 3 that you guys tried yesterday. With the other kind of just quick solving problems. Then we'll do 4 together, and then I'm going to set up 5 and 6 with you, and those will be kind of your wrap-up problems. And once again, you need to do those to get credit for attendance today, because attendance is not just showing up, it's actually participating in class. I'm losing my voice today. What's up?
Can we show it to you at the end instead of having to submit it, or should we submit it also?
I will get back to you. I just need to see how many people actually submitted it and how much easier my life will be. So I'll look in a few minutes and I'll let you know before you leave. All right, I'm gonna move on. So I'm gonna kind of move my paper. I have that for a few here. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep folding my paper so I have a nice little fresh sheet here. Okay, so number 3. Bring this down a little so you can see a little better. So it says the angle of elevation of the sun is 27 degrees. If a tree is 12 yards tall, wow, exciting yards, how long will the shadow be? Okay, so I don't know. Once again, you can draw a little picture. And I do usually suggest that. Sometimes I just get lazy. We have a tree. We got the sun. It's going to come down, hit at that. And then we will have a nice right triangle. The angle of elevation of the sun is, it would help if you could actually see my triangle. Okay, the angle of elevation of the sun is 27 degrees. So remember, elevation is when you look up at something. So it's this angle right here, 27 degrees. If a tree is 12 yards tall, so this is 12 yards, right? That's how tall it is. How long will the shadow be? So the shadow is always on the ground, so that's going to be my X. So let's set that up from this angle. I know opposite. I need adjacent, right? I don't really care about hypotenuse. That's over there. So I'm going to use tangent. So in my head, I think TOA. So tangent of 27 degrees, always put your degree symbol, equals opposite over adjacent. Okay, so we've seen this setup before. You do have to kind of do 2 steps. They're not necessarily the hardest. It's more you just have to kind of write it out. If you've noticed, a shortcut, yeah, anytime you have this setup, you're always going to do 12 and then you're going to divide it by tangent 27. So if you can kind of see that as a shortcut. But if you go through the steps, you would multiply by x. And then you would divide by tangent of 27. So it always kind of ends up that you kind of just flip those 2 things and it solves it for you. But you can always do the steps out just to remind yourself how to get to your answer. I'm going to divide 12 divided by tangent of 27. And what am I going to get? I'm going to get 23.6-ish yards. Okay. So I'm going to leave that up for a second. Those were the ones that you were trying yesterday. And then we'll do one more together, and then I'll help you set up 5 and 6, and then we'll be done. How exciting. My eyeballs are today. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm going to start looking at 4. This is one you had not done yet. So we'll see kind of what it looks like. And then once again, I'll help you with 5 and 6. So 4 says, I'm going to get a new piece of paper here. I'm a very big paper waster these days, but what can you do? So 4 is right here. A 14-foot ladder is leaning against a house at an angle of 55 degrees. How far is the base of the ladder from the house? So we had seen one like this last week, but once again, if you're not remembering these off the top of your head, I'm not judging you. So I will help you with this setup. So for number 4. Sorry, I'm just trying to make it so you can actually see everything. Okay, there we go. So number 4. This is annoying me that my mouse is at this mouse. Okay. Moving my mouse. Okay. So number 4, once again, always draw a picture. If you're ever confused, you have a house, you have a ladder leaning against the house. You have a thing that makes a nice right triangle. Delightful. So the ladder is 14 feet. So this is the ladder, right? So this is 14 feet. Okay. The angle that it's leaning at is 55 degrees. And I want to know how far is the base of the ladder from the house. So I'm just trying to figure out the base to the house. What's that? Okay. So that wasn't too terrible. Everything's about, once you label, what do you got? So from that angle, I know hypotenuse, right? Because it's across from the 90. 90 is right there. That's the hypotenuse. I need adjacent. So I'm going to use cosine. I think in my head, ka. So I'm going to use cosine. So let's see how that would be set up. Cosine of 55 degrees is going to equal, that's adjacent over hypotenuse. Delightful. That's not bad because then it's just one step to solve it. I'm just going to multiply both sides by 14. So I'm just throwing that side of my calculator. I don't know what it is. 14 times cosine of 55 is going to equal, I'm just going to say 8 feet. It's like 8.0 something. And I'm donezy. Okay. So they're really not terrible. I know a lot of people just hate word problems in general. And if I say the word problem, you just like, I don't know, break down. You can't do it. For all of these, I've been helping you with the setup and I'm going to continue to do so. So if nothing else, I just expect you to kind of follow along, write it down and do your best. That's all you can do at this moment. So I'm going to leave that up for another few seconds. I'm going to help you set up 5 and 6, and then it is your job to solve them. So that should be exciting, but then we'll be done. So actually we'll have a little bit of time. Just as a heads up, if we finish a little bit early, I like to give myself some time just to check everyone's. But if you sign off or if you're just need something from me, I am on till the end of the period. So I will be on until 8. What time is this? 8:16. So I'll be here till 8:16. Just chilling. If everyone does show me their work. So if you ever need to sign back on, or if you want to wait to ask me something, feel free to do so. Whether it's about your grade or an assignment or this or life or whatever. So I will be here. But always feel free to reach me via email as well if you have any questions. But please try to check that grade today. Because when we come back from vacation, we really only have a few weeks and then the term will be over. So just as a heads up. All right, so let's set up 5 and 6. Sorry, I'm trying to stall. So if anyone's writing, giving you a few minutes. Let me just fold myself so I have a nice.
Sorry, can I get that again really quick?
Yep. There you go. So we will do 5 and 6, or I'm going to set up 5 and 6. You're going to solve them. And then we'll be on our merry little way here on a nice little Tuesday. I'm not used to talking this much anymore. All right, so as I'm kind of looking at that, I'll keep that up for a second, but I'm just going to read number 5 and then we'll set it up. So number 5, Jake is sitting on the top of a hill. Good for you, Jake. The angle of depression from Jake to his friend on the ground is 27 degrees. So we'll remind ourselves what depression means and how to set that up. If the friend is standing 50 meters from the hill, how tall is the hill? Okay, so we can do that. We'll do that in a second. And then read number 6. Oh, there it is. A 10-foot light pole is on a 3-foot concrete platform. Delightful. A fire hydrant is 4 feet from the light post. What is the angle of elevation from the hydrant to the top of the post? Okay, so we can do that. So I'm going to set those up for you, and then you guys are going to solve these, and then that will be that. So this is what I expect to see when I check yours in a minute. So for 5. Jake is sitting on the top of a hill. Once again, you can make a little picture. We all know I'm no artist here, but there you go. There's my hill. There's the ground. We got Jake up here. Okay, there he's sitting. His legs are down. Okay, there we go. Hey, Jake. And then his friend is down here. Okay, so he's looking down at his friend. I'm just going to put it there. Okay, that's a terrible drawing, but you get the idea. We have a semi-right triangle. We'll pretend it is, even though that's a bad drawing on my part. The angle of depression to his friend on the ground is 27 degrees. So remember, depression means when you look down at something. So if something's depressed, it's down. So that means this angle is actually 27 degrees. But we talked last week about how if you had that outside angle, it doesn't really help you because it's not in the triangle. But this angle and this angle always end up being the same thing. So we could do all the math out. I'm not going to bore you with it, but it is always the same thing. So you actually know this angle inside is 27. The friend is standing 50 meters from the hill. So from the hill, your friend is 50 meters. And we want to know how tall is the hill. So we want to find X. So in a minute, you are going to go and say, hey, from this angle, what do I know? What do I need? What trig function should I use? Can I solve? So you're going to try that in a second. I'm going to do 6 right next to this so you can I'll keep them up so you can see them in a second. Boop-a-doop boop. So let's just set up 6 and then you guys will have a few minutes to solve it. A 10-foot, oh gosh, my nose is itchy. A 10-foot light post is on a 3 feet concrete platform. So we have a light post here. I don't know what a light post looks like. There you go. There's my little light. It's on a concrete post here. So if this is 10 and this is 3, this whole thing is 13. Okay, so I'm just kind of labeling as I go. There is a fire hydrant 4 feet from the light post. So somewhere over here, there's a fire hydrant. I don't even know what a fire hydrant looks like. Okay, there you go. Once again, I'm no artist. That's 4 feet. What is the angle of elevation from the hydrant to the top of the light post? So we want to figure out this angle. So once again, this was kind of an awkward This is 13, but I kind of put it in a weird spot. So we have from here, opposite, and we have adjacent. You're trying to find an angle, so you are going to use an inverse. So I'll make a little note to myself. Use inverse. And that's going to be your job. So there you go. There are your two setups. Once again, sorry if they're not the best pictures. You get the idea. So in this one, we have an angle. We want this side. We have this side. So what trig function would you use? And then in this one, we have this side of that side, and you're trying to find an angle. So you're going to use an inverse. So you are trying that now. Excuse me. I will leave those bad boys up so you have them as a reference. I'm going to just take a second and I'll leave that up on my other computer. I'm just going to check what the results were from yesterday, if people kind of did their work or if we were struggling. So just give me a minute. Thank you, Chris. I see you're done. Just give me 1 second before you show me. And I will be with you in a moment, and I'll go in the order that people are done. So just bear with me while I check everything. Oh, we're struggling, guys. Where's my thing? So as far as yesterday's assignment, if you did not pass it in, you are going to have to scan it. There's just like way too many people for me to check right now. I think out of 18, 8 of you didn't pass it in. And that's confusing for me and checking things off. So if you didn't do yesterday's assignment, you're going to look back. You were supposed to do these problems. I just did these 3 with you. So feel free to just take it in 2 separate screenshots. Do the ones that we just did. Take a screenshot of it or a scan of it, whatever. But you do need to at least attempt these ones to get full credit. If you put those, I'll give you something. But you will have to submit that separately because it's just it's too confusing for me to check both things. And let's be honest, if you didn't do it yesterday, I'm making you do a little extra work today. You make extra work for me, I make extra work for you. Today is 12/22. Sorry, let me just label what we got here, and then I'm going to start calling on people. So thank you for being patient. I do have the answers here too, so I'm going to attempt to kind of look at those. So I will leave those up so you can see those. I'm going to start to call on. Actually, that's not going to work, huh? Because I actually have to see what you did. Okay. So I'm gonna take these bad boys down. Yep, what's up?
I emailed this to you.
Sure. Who just said that? Connor, thank you, Connor. Yeah, if you email it to me, then you're good.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you, thank you. Sorry, I'm gonna stop presenting. That was my whole thing.